Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to One Bag, One World. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're talking about something near and dear to my heart, and that is sweating through clothing. As we're entering summer, the hottest season of the year, I want to talk about the best one bag hot weather travel shirts for you. If you're looking for something to wear while we're on hell's front porch, you came to the right place. So let's get into it. Jumbo, you gotta go. Starting right off, we're gonna talk about the Uniqlo Airism shirt. Now there are actually a few different types. There's the Airism cotton, there's the Airism mesh, and this is just the plain old regular Airism. But this is the one I wanna focus on because I have worn the Airism mesh and it's definitely an undershirt, and that's definitely what it's intended to be. It feels a little revealing. I don't think you'd be able to really pull it off very well as a t-shirt, even though a lot of people purport to do exactly that. This is the one that I've been looking at, and it is a great shirt. It comes in very lightweight. You can see how small it is in my hands. I mean, that's gonna pack up to nothing, the size of a fist. It is a polyester style shirt, so it is, in my opinion, gonna hold a lot of stink. But it does drape fairly well. It is very comfortable. It's a little breathable, but I think the real value here is that they're so cheap. It's roughly $15. It's only 3 ounces, so it's not gonna add to the weight of your bag. And you can basically get them anywhere around the world. I mean, there's a Uniqlo on every continent. So definitely a great, easy shirt that most people can pick up at a very reasonable price. And if it does get trashed, if it does start to smell, you know, as much as I don't like to add to the waste, you can definitely just buy more, which is a great perk of one bagging, which with some of these other shirts, as you'll see in a second, isn't always an option due to exclusivity based on the continent that you live in or just sheer price point. So real quick, just to say the stats on this, and I'm gonna have to use my phone because I just don't have all of these memorized, and we were talking about a lot of shirts today. The Uniqlo Airism shirt is 3.5 ounces or 99 grams in weight. It doesn't have a stated UPF rating, which I will try to call out in the event that I can find it. It comes in at about $14.90, that's US. And it's 71% cotton, 25% polyester, and 4% spandex. So it does have that stretch, but it is a cotton shirt, and as they say in summer, cotton kills. Moving on to the next one. Now this right here is Icebreaker. This is the Cool Lite. Now this is a brand that if you've been in the backpacking or travel community, you've probably heard of, and you probably own a piece of their clothing already. This, however, in particular is their Cool Lite line of clothing. Now again, super small, packs well, it feels very soft on the hands. One of the complaints you often hear about merino wool is that it can be a little scratchy. I definitely find Icebreaker to be one of the better brands in terms of this. They always feel very comfortable. It is very form-fitting, so it's a little snug. You know, as I've started to get a little bit bigger, it doesn't necessarily flatter me as well as I would like it to, but it is a fantastic shirt, and I really enjoy wearing these, especially in the hot summer. Now it is merino wool, so it isn't, in my opinion, gonna breathe as well as some of these other shirts that we're gonna talk about, but it is a fantastic contender. Now getting into the stats on this one. So the Icebreaker Cool Lite shirt comes in at 4.66 ounces or 132 grams. It is priced at $80 US currently, although you can often find sales on Icebreaker, I should tell you that. Now it's made of 60% lyocell and 40% merino wool. So it does have a very low merino wool percentage, which I think definitely helps, and that's probably what makes it that Cool Lite brand, because merino wool, in my opinion, although yes, it is moisture wicking, although it does have odor control, I do think it's a fairly heavy sort of weave for hot summer wear, and I'll show you some of the other types of fabrics that I prefer over merino wool. This might be the most expensive t-shirt that we're going to talk about today. So this is the Outlier, which is a very bespoke kind of custom clothing brand from New York City, although they are fantastic. They're masters of fabric, and their love and devotion to the craft really shows in the clothes that they come out with. Not all of their styles are for me, but I do appreciate the effort that they put into a lot of their clothing. If you've been part of the one bagging community before, you've no doubt heard of the Slim Dungarees, aka the one pant to rule them all, the Outlier New Way shorts, who a lot of people swear by as their only short that they take traveling. They have various cuts of t-shirts that are extremely comfortable, they pack well, they're light, but they are pricey. Now this one right here is the Ramielust. This is one of the first Outlier pieces of clothing that I heard of. Rami is a fabric that is basically like a Chinese linen. It comes from Asia, and according to them, it basically was the fabric of medieval Western Europe in terms of hot weather. I mean, this is what they wore. They wore Rami everywhere, and it's supposed to breathe very well, and it's supposed to be a comfortable, well-fitting, well-draping fabric. Now, I really like this shirt. However, it doesn't really have great odor control. I sweat a ton. I should have prefaced all of this with this. I sweat a ton, so this matter is near and dear to my heart, so I'm trying to give you guys the best review possible on these so that you can make informed decisions. So the Ramielust is great. I feel like it drapes really well. I actually do like wearing this shirt a lot, but it is going to need a wash between wears. Jumping into the specs of this, it's 135 US, so this definitely puts it at the highest price point of any shirt on this list, although there is a close second. It is 100% Rami, which is a natural fiber, also known as Chinese linen or China grass. It weighs in at 6.03 ounces or 171 grams, and it has a UPF rating. This is one of the few shirts that says it's somewhere between 5 and 10, probably closer to 5 because it is quite open of a weave. This one is from one of my favorite clothing brands, especially for one bag travel. This is from Wool&Prince. So I actually bought this. This was their very first iteration of this. This is their wool linen line. So it's a wool and linen blend, which is fantastic. I love their wool nylon blend t-shirts. I wear them all the time. Those are my favorite shirt, and I'll be doing a whole separate review on those, but this is focused specifically on, you know, hot weather travel, so I really wanted to talk about this. This, when it came out, was only available in slim fit, and now they have a regular fit, which is great, and I think I would have preferred that. I actually went and just double checked reviews on these because my biggest problem with this, I got this in a size large. Every other shirt here is a size medium. Because it is slim fit, I expected, you know, I'll have to size up and then maybe tailor it down or something. It still doesn't fit particularly well, which is quite frustrating. It's very tight on my arms, it's very tight on my chest. I can't really button up the neck. I always feel like I'm gonna tear the chest button right here. And for a shirt that comes in at $118, that's pretty ridiculous. A lot of other reviewers or a lot of other people that have bought their clothing and commented, normally they have glowing reviews. I can't speak enough about how great this brand is, but I feel like they kind of missed the mark with these. A lot of the other comments talk about how much that these types of shirts shrink. I mean, wool and linen, they do shrink, obviously, when they're dried, but just for the price point, it kind of almost rules this one out for me. I don't wear this one that much just because I feel like it doesn't fit very well, but I like to keep it around because it is comfortable. However, I do find the fabric actually quite itchy, and that was my biggest turn off with this shirt. So this shirt, which is the Wool&Prince wool linen again, comes in at 6.9 ounces or 197 grams. It doesn't have a listed UPF rating. It costs, again, 118 US dollars at the time of filming this, and it is 76% merino and 24% linen. So it still weighs pretty heavily on the merino side, which, you know, maybe doesn't help it breathe as well, but it does have that linen in there to help open up the weave. And it actually is, you know, in my opinion, a very good looking shirt. A lot of these others are pretty plain looking, and this kind of adds some pizzazz to your wardrobe. Next up, Patagonia, another brand you have to be familiar with. They're kind of the heavyweights, especially in responsibly sourcing your clothing. They are fantastic. I really love Patagonia. This is their Capilene Cool Daily, and I'm gonna just jump right into one thing in particular. Right here, you probably can't see on the tag, it says UPF 50 plus. Now, at the time I purchased this, this was purported to have a 50 plus UPF rating. So that basically says, you know, it'll block a certain percentage of the sun's harmful rays. Now, actually what happened is Patagonia did a voluntary recall on these shirts because unfortunately, when they did some testing, it was nowhere near 50. I think they said that all of their shirts were somewhere between 5 and 45 UPF. And I think these on average were around 30 UPF. So that means it blocks roughly 1/3 of the sun's rays. Actually, a lot less than they advertised. However, it's still probably the best out of all of these t-shirts. They fit very well. They are very comfortable. It's a great shirt. I wore these through Patagonia, funny enough, when I went down there just to try them out. Although it wasn't hot weather, I was doing a lot of hiking, so I wanted to see how they hold up. They were fantastic. I washed them in the sink every night, and I hung them up to dry, and they were dry every morning, and they smelled great. They also pack very small. You know, if weight and size and kind of functionality and especially performance was my biggest factor, I would probably go with these over the Uniqlo Airism. Yes, they are more expensive, but I also really like the brand. It's not fast fashion. They're gonna last, they're gonna hold together, and it's just a fantastic company that I don't mind supporting. For the stats, the Patagonia Cool Daily shirt comes in at 4.5 ounces or 128 grams. It has 50 UPF, although we just talked about it's not true. Comes in at $45. Again, you can sometimes find these on sale. Patagonia has a couple big sales a year. You can also get them at retailers like REI, for example, on sale. And it's made of 50 to 100% recycled polyester. So the entire shirt is polyester, but somewhere between 50 to 100% of it is recycled, which is really great. All right, this is a relatively new find. So I've actually been researching a lot of new shirts that I might not know about because it is getting quite hot in Florida at the moment, and we do plan on taking some beach vacations. So I wanted something that I could wear out that might be a little bit nicer than some of these t-shirts. And I came across a recommendation on Reddit multiple times actually about this company called Quince. The reason that I wanted to talk about the shirt is because they're very affordable compared to a lot of these other options. This shirt right here, which is a button down, their 100% linen shirt comes in at around 30 US dollars, and that's pretty dirt cheap. It's 100% linen. I think it fits very well. It's very flattering. It's a very like stylish shirt in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you can see it's a little wrinkly, but that's what linen does. It wrinkles, you just have to own it. And we recently were in Italy. If you haven't watched this video, you should go check them out. And it was insanely hot. We were there over the summer and I want to say it barely went below 90 degrees Fahrenheit for the entirety of our trip there. Maybe at night, I think at 11 p.m. it was like 89 degrees most nights. And the only thing that saved me, because I had, you know, some different shirts than maybe what I needed, was that we came across a linen store and I bought a linen shirt and I wore that thing to death. Now, this is basically what I'm going to replace this with because I destroyed those shirts. I sweat so much of them. There's no fabric in the world that could hold up to the amount of sweat that I could pump into it after a month of 100-degree days. So this is what I'm going to be using from now on. It's Quince. It's fantastic. I actually reached out to the company. They were super cool. They sent me another sample after I bought one. I should just note I've paid for every piece of clothing here except for this one, but I own a different shirt of theirs. So you should, you know, hopefully trust the fact that this review is being open and honest and, you know, I'm not being pushed into it. That being said, I will provide a link in the description below if you want to support Quince. If you want a cheap linen shirt, just to try them out. They are really cool and their staff has been super responsive and helpful when answering my questions. So the Quince linen shirt, 100% men's short sleeve linen shirt, that's what this is 7.5 ounces or 212 grams. It doesn't have a posted UPF rating. It comes in at around $30 US, I think a little under, and it is of course 100% linen. Europeans, if you have made it this far, I know a lot of clothing companies are dedicated towards US vloggers and stuff like that, so this one is for you. This is Seagale. It is a French company. Maybe it's Seagale, I don't know. Fantastic company. I love their clothing. I actually own 2 of their board shorts. This is my first shirt that I've ever owned from them, but it is fantastic. So this is their Breezy linen shirt, and I feel like, in my opinion, this is the best shirt of the bunch. I know it's kind of weird that I'm talking about this in the middle then, but if you've made it this far, this is the shirt that you need to go out and buy. It fits incredibly well. It's a medium. They're actually known for kind of their slim fitting clothing, so I was a little bit worried, especially because shipping back to France can be a little expensive. So I would recommend looking at their size charts and making sure that everything matches your measurements before you order. It looks like a regular t-shirt. It's got a nice open weave. It's incredibly comfortable. It's soft. It's fairly packable. You know, I mean, that's pretty small. It's not as small as some of the polyester shirts, but those are always going to pack smaller. It is about $54 US or 50 euros if you're buying this in Europe. 98% linen, so it's actually not 100%, and 2% elastane. So it's got a little bit of stretch in there. The Breezy linen shirt comes in at 6.2 ounces or 176 grams. Western Rise. I could not go into any clothing video, especially for traveling or backpacking, without bringing up this name. They are fantastic. I own so much of their clothing. This is their session tee, and I love this thing. It's actually something that I wear to the gym every single day or every other day. I love this. You can wash it in the sink. It packs down to absolutely nothing. It's fantastic. They look pretty good. I mean, it fits me very well. This is a medium. It's incredibly comfortable. It does have an athletic cut. You can see these open slits at the bottom on the side, but it does look a little more techy. You know, I don't know if I'd wear these out to like a nice dinner or anything like that. It hides sweat completely. I've worn this hiking through the Swiss Alps in the middle of summer, which is very hot, and it performed beautifully. It is also UPF 50, one of the only other shirts along with the Patagonia one that has it listed, and they haven't had to do a recall, so maybe they actually stand by it. In terms of weight, the Western Rise Session Tee is 3.1 ounces, making it one of the lightest shirts. Actually, no, it makes it the lightest shirt on this list. It comes in at $68 though, and it is made out of 100% polyester. So whenever you get a shirt with these synthetic fabrics like polyester, they are gonna smell, in my opinion, and this does smell very easily, but it's so easy to just wash in a sink and then hang dry it, and it dries so incredibly fast that I actually don't necessarily mind that it smells very quickly because it is so easy to clean. All right, the last one I want to talk about. The reason I wanted some kind of more household name brands is because I wanted to make this video accessible to everyone. Not everyone is gonna go to these bespoke, you know, kind of travel companies. Maybe someone just wants to go to the mall and pick up a shirt today for instant gratification. Totally understand that. For that, this is Banana Republic. This is a size medium. This is their linen shirt, and I actually really like this. It drapes very well. I like the fact that it's kind of got this multicolor pattern. I think it hides the sweat actually pretty well because, you know, as you sweat into it, it kind of gets a darker color. I feel like it packs fairly well. It looks really good. This is one of my favorite shirts along with this Seagale one, just because they look pretty normal. You know, I think one of the problems that I wrestle with sometimes is with all of these clothing options, you start to look like a techie traveler. It looks like you're gonna go work out. I much prefer, you know, kind of to blend in and look quote unquote like a local. For the actual stats stats on this. This is 7.1 ounces or 200 grams. It doesn't have a UPF rating. Again, I got it for $30, so just wait for a sale on these, and it is 100% linen. Now, I cannot say this enough. Out of all the shirts that we have just talked about, all of the ones that have had a higher linen content were the ones that served me the best. All right, so just to wrap us up, I wanted to go through all of these shirts are rolled up. I try to do it as compressed as possible, or at least evenly compressed across them, so you can see how they're gonna look packed up if you do some rolling. In terms of price point, if you're looking for the cheapest one, the one that wins is the Uniqlo Airism at $15 US. Now, in terms of the lightest in weight, you have to go with the Western Rise Session Tee. That's 3.1 ounces. Follow-up would be the Uniqlo Airism at 3.5 ounces. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this review gave you some good ideas on what to pack for your next hot weather one bag trip. And as always, please do not forget to like and subscribe.